You ready?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Why is my
Everybody in our sisterhood for showing today, because this is a thing that Barbara Moss started about 12 years ago, for the sisterhood, the Miriam's Dream. And so nice that you're here to be able to open it up for us today. And I would like to thank everybody for joining, for supporting, and being here with us. At least we have 9 days to go before we really have to eat all this stuff. We'll do it today because we're representing Barbara.
Thank you.
All right. Now,
No.
I'm going to mute all. So from now on, everybody's got to unmute themselves when they're called on. And Nan, you need to.
Except
Okay.
for me. Don't mute me.
Don't mute you.
No, because
Okay.
I'm going to do the candles.
No, I know. Let me see.
I had to read it first, so don't mute me.
I'll unmute Judy.
I unmuted myself.
Okay, and Barbara. Can you hear me? Yes.
Okay, Sherry, are you going to be doing screen sharing for those that don't have a
Yes.
book?
I'm going to.
Barbara Moss is still muted.
No, she's not.
Can you hear me?
Oh, no, she isn't. Okay, thank you.
Well, I just want to thank everybody who made the Seder possible, besides what Judy said, and the Seder to go possible. So, of course, Judy already thanked Barbara for creating the service. And Nan, I'd like to thank you for taking on facilitation.
Pleasure.
Yolanda and her team for preparing the lunch, and that was Sharon, Sunny, and Joy. And Meredith Weissman is our go-to Amazon purchaser. So, and everybody knows, I think Judy made her Simca cakes and they're pasty-dicky, more or less. So, and Phyllis sent out numerous emails at my behest. So, and I'd also like to thank Roz and Helene for, and anyone else in the office for taking all the stuff. Hello?
Hello?
Lorraine is feedback from you.
I'm getting.
There is? I'm not, I'll put my mute back on.
Yeah. Okay,
Sorry.
so now I'm ready to turn it over to Nan, and at the very end, we have a couple more announcements to make. So.
All right. Before we begin, there are a few things that are different with a women's Seder. If we were in the sanctuary, there would be a Miriam's cup along with Elijah's cup. And instead of the lamb shank bone, it's replaced with a beet, symbolizing the blood that marked the doorposts of our homes in Egypt. Because we no longer make the Paschal sacrifice, the Talmud suggests, and vegetarians preferred the substitution of the beet. We're going to go to page 1, which is in the book. Shari, are you going to share?
I'm going to, okay.
Screen. This is before the candle lighting. And Judy, would you read?
Yes. I am Miriam, called a prophetess because I find water. My true gifts that I can hear water, understanding its message, and bring it to the community. As a young girl, I heard the lapping waters of the Nile, reassuring me that my brother was rescued, and I brought him back to our mother's breast. As a woman, I shared the song that the Sea of Reeds sang when it rose up before us and then bowed down at our feet as we reached the other shore. In the desert, I have heard the water beneath the sand, running below our feet to the promised land.
Thank you. Miriam teaches us that the best leaders place community at the center of their work. Miriam keeps her family together and creates communal rituals to mark the miracles she experiences with the people. Sharon, would you please read A Blessing for Women of Wisdom?
Which Sharon?
Sharon Gadlis.
Okay. We ask that they may experience a healing of the body and spirit, a healing of the soul, the essence of these dear women. And we ask that they may experience your greatest gift, a healing that is filled with peace. We say together,
Amen.
Amen.
Can I break in? Can someone tell me what you're seeing on the screen?
We saw a woman of wisdom. And
Is
now
that all? And you don't see any people?
No.
Yeah, on the side.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's people,
Okay.
People down one side.
Okay, I can't seem to get full screen. So, I mean, full screen of the participants. Is that okay?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right, the
Okay.
next page, but there's Hine Matov is a song at the bottom of the page. And if I know before we get to the candle lighting, I'd like to ask Joanne Gorlick if she's able to help me lead a short Hine Matov. Hine Matov u'manaim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manaim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is and how pleasant when women dwell together in unity. And now, Barbara, would you please light the candles?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav ad hadlik shel yom tov.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, giver of light, who sanctifies us with the commandment to light the holiday candles. Thank you, Barbara.
Sure, happy Passover.
Thank you.
Passover.
The order of the Passover Seder is normally the Kiddush, Urchatz, the washing of the hands, Karpas, the green vegetables, Yahatz, breaking middle matzah, Magid, telling the story, Raksa, washing hands before eating, Mutzi matzah, blessing before eating, Maror, bitter herbs, Korech, Hillel, sandwich, Shulchan, Orech, the festive meal, Safun, the afikomen, Barech, the saying grace, Hallel, psalms of praise, and Nirtzah, conclusion. We are going to skip some of these because we are not in person. So please bear with us as we do some shifting. Now, the first cup of wine, I'm going to ask Beth Patrick to read the bottom of page 2. Beth, please unmute.
Sorry. All right. The first cup. The mitzvah of the 4 cups of wine is linked to God's 4 promises to bring us out of slavery. Since we are told that we must be God's partners in our redemption, tonight we dedicate each cup to the Jewish women who have helped move us from slavery to freedom.
We read together. We drink this wine to honor our foremothers, those whose names we know, and those whose names are lost forever. Their gift and legacy to us as proud Jewish women will never be lost. Raise your cup of wine or grape juice or water or beverage. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, guardian of time and space, creator of the fruit of the vine. Everyone, let's do the Shehechianu. We acknowledge the joy of our first coming together as women at this season. Let us bless the flow of life that revives us, sustains us, and brings us to this time. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'hianu lazman hazeh. Sharon Helbin, would you please do the ceremonial washing of the hands?
Unmute.
Unmute, got it. Okay. Ceremonial washing of the hands, or shas. Hand washing is not an obligation of the Seder, but it is a tradition for many of us. Water is the essence of life. Just as we emerge from the waters at birth, so was the Israelite nation born from slavery to freedom by the power of the waters of the Red Sea. Before we can truly experience freedom and spiritual renewal, the dust of our daily lives must be shed. By washing our hands in water, we remind ourselves that Passover is our opportunity to be cleansed without and within.
Thank you. Shari, Miriam as well.
Ah. Our sister Miriam was said to be a source of life affirming water, a source of life affirming water. At twilight on the second day of creation, God embedded a precious liquid jewel in the earth, a miraculous well of pure sparkling water. Filled with Mayim Chayim, living waters, the well was a reminder to all who drank or drew from it that Torah is also a well from which all may drink and be restored. Possession of the well passed from Abraham to Hagar to Isaac. Each of our foremothers and fathers in turn discovered anew the source of living water in the desert. During our slavery in Egypt, the Jews lost the well and lost even the memory that it was ever there. Only by the virtue of Miriam did the well reappear during their wanderings in the desert. The power of her voice and her intimate understanding of water were the reasons she thought worthy to be the keeper of the well.
Let's read together. To Miriam, the prophetess, and to our sisters, Sarah and Rebecca, Rachel and Leah, Esther and Dinah, Shifra and Puah, Ruth and Deborah, we offer a blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, al netilat yadayim. We praise you, Adonai, our God,
source of all that is
that is
indeed
good in the world, who gives us the opportunity to cleanse ourselves.
ourselves.
Amen. Roz, would you do the greens?
Okay. Eating greens dipped in salt water, carpus. Passover is a spring celebration, a time to appreciate rebirth and growth. We eat this parsley as a sign of the renewal of life that comes with liberation. We dip it into salt water to remember the tears women shed in slavery. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari ha'adamah. Let us bless the source of life who creates the fruit of the earth.
Marcia, would you do the dividing of the matzah?
We break, dividing the matzah yachatz. We break the middle matzah and conceal one half as the afikomen. Later we will share it as in days of old, when the Passover offering itself was shared at this service in Jerusalem. Tonight the sharing of bread forms a bond of sisterhood among us. As we rejoice in our own freedom, we pray for the deliverance of people everywhere from hunger, homelessness, poverty, and abuse. This is the bread of affliction which our ancestors ate in Egypt. When all who hunger come and eat with us, Let all who yearn for spiritual sustenance come and share this celebration, and let us discover and renew our heritage together. This year we are here, next year in Israel. This year we are slaves, next year daughters of freedom.
Minia, would you please read the Passover story?
In every generation, let each person look upon herself as she came forth out of Egypt. This is the spirit of Magid, the narration, in which the story of liberation is told at Pesach. Is handed down from parent to child, the child asking the questions and growing up with the knowledge that her child will someday ask, and that story will be told again and again. The Seder is the symbol of the bond between the individual and the family, between the family and the people of Israel. Generations united in telling the old, ever-renewed story. We were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt. The Torah tells us that God took us out of there with a strong hand and an outstretched arm. If we had not been freed from Egyptian bondage, then we, our mothers, sisters, daughters, friends, and all who sit together tonight would still be slaves unto Pharaoh and Egypt.
Thank you. Yolanda, would you please read the 4 questions? Page 6. Unmute Yolanda.
Let me try that.
Oh,
Can you
good.
hear me?
Good.
Yes.
Hear me now? The
Yes,
4
we-
questions are traditionally asked by the youngest people at the Seder, which I'm not. We invite our daughters, granddaughters, nieces, and friends to sing or say the questions in Hebrew and in English. Ma nishtana halala hazeh mikol halilo. Shebachol halilo sanu okli mo'ametzu matzah. Halayla hazeh kulo matzah. Shebachol halilo seinanu sharar yarakol. Halala hazeh shtei fiyomim. Shebachol halelo seinanu machpilim mafilu bechad. Halayla hazeh kulo matzah.
Beautiful.
Why is this night different from all other nights? On all other nights, we eat bread or matzah. On this night, why only matzah? On all other nights, we eat all kinds of vegetables. On this night, why bitter herbs? On all other nights, we do not dip even once. On this night, why twice? On all other nights, we eat either sitting or reclining. On this night, why do we recline?
Thank you, Yolanda. That was beautiful. I love the Hebrew. Lael, would you please read the women's questions?
Why is tonight different from all other nights? Why do we celebrate a women's Seder? We hold this Sisterhood Seder tonight to celebrate the role which women played in the exodus from Egypt and our continuous role in preserving and perpetuating our Jewish heritage. Why on this night have women sometimes been bitter? Women have sometimes been bitter because they did the preparation, but not the ritual. They did the serving, but not the conducting. They read all of their fathers, but not of their mothers. Why on this night do we dip twice? We dip twice to remember the slavery our foremothers faced, both as Jews and as women. Why on this night do we reflect and recline? Because we acknowledge with pride the accomplishments of our Jewish sisters throughout history, who have touched the world with their healing powers, facilitated communication between adversaries, nurtured their families, cared for the less able, and through their teaching, ensured that the Exodus story would be passed down from generation to generation.
Thank you. The 4 daughters. The Torah speaks of the obligation of telling your child the story of our Exodus. Tonight we discuss it with 4 daughters. Phyllis, would you please read the first 2, the committed and the angry alienated?
Yeah. the committed daughter who wants to deepen her understanding and participate in her birthright. She asks, what can I learn from the experiences of Jewish women during the Exodus that is relevant to our struggles for liberation today? It is our obligation to tell her of the rich tapestry of women before her, of the struggles they endured, of the changes and failures and the work still to do. The angry, alienated daughter who has turned away from Judaism because of the pain it has caused her. She asks, what can this sexist tribal ritual possible have to say to me? She says, to me and not to us, removing herself from our ranks and from our struggles. Although she has turned her back on us, you can hardly see what I'm doing today. We must not turn our backs on her. We must confront her together and say, what benefits are you deriving from your separation from our joyful celebration? Don't you know you will still be identified as a Jew and as a woman in times of suffering? Join us in changing what hurts you most. We must try to make her feel and know that she is a part of us and how much she has to lose by deserting us.
Thank you. Ellen, would you please read the last two paragraphs?
The superficially identified daughter who
Mhm.
has no conflict over her Jewishness because it is so marginal in her life asks, what's it all about anyway? Why is commitment so important? We must explain to her that her lox and bagels Judaism is so diluted that it is no wonder that she has relegated her Jewishness to the remote reaches of her life. We can encourage her to seize the day and begin to struggle against her assimilation here at our Seder. The very young daughter who has never dropped out of our community because she was never in it, does not even know where to begin. Tonight we embrace her and involve her in our joy so that she can begin to feel a part of our people.
Thank you. Sue Goldberg, would you please read the pouring of the second cup of wine?
Okay. A full cup of wine is a symbol of complete joy. In the traditional Seder, as we recite the 10 plagues which the Holy One brought upon the Egyptians, we diminish the wine in our cups to show compassion for the Egyptians, who were in the end victims too. Follow this, we also diminish the wine in our cups to show compassion for the women in our own time who are oppressed.
All right, we're going to do this together symbolically to say the 10 plagues. Dam, Sephardeia, frogs, Kinim, lice, Arov, Diva, Shichin, Barad, Aber, Osheth, Makeh. Let's read together the description at the bottom of the page. The lack of recognition of women as
leaders,
scholars,
and
makers
who could serve as a role model for all of us.
The
education
education
of young women not being taken as seriously as that of our young men.
The
acceptance of physical and verbal abuse of women on the street, in the workplaces, and in the home.
The
The stereotypes brought upon us as Jewish women against which we have to struggle to maintain our pride. The denial omission of women who are single, childless, battered, poor, and disabled from the concerns of fairness and equal opportunity.
The
emphasis on unrealistic
images of
physical
physical beauty as essential to
and
women's
self-esteem,
self-esteem,
causing us
to surgically alter or starve our bodies.
The
devaluating of the
profession of homemaking and volunteerism as compared to salary jobs. The silence of our place in history
history
of
as
Jewish
Jewish
women.
From all these
All
plagues,
these plagues,
Judaism and women
women
must
be
be
free.
freed. Shari, do you want to read the second cup of wine?
Okay. The second cup of wine, the cup of redemption, Geula. Everybody raises her cup of wine. Excuse me. We learn in the book of Exodus that deliverance comes after a refusal to accept injustice. In our quest for freedom, the first steps were taken by women. The midwives, Shifra and Pua, defied Pharaoh to preserve new lives. Yocheved, refusing to let her son be a victim of Pharaoh's genocide, set him adrift in a basket on the Nile. Miriam risked her life to watch over her baby brother until he was delivered into safe hands. Pharaoh's daughter colluded with slave women to adopt this Hebrew child, whom she called Moses. The first to scorn oppression, women took the initiative that led to the liberation of the Jewish people. So we drink this cup of wine to honor our daughters and the possibilities of their lives. Let them always know the strength of their ties to our people and to the strong and courageous women before them.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu
Eloheinu
melech
Olam,
Olam
Parei
Parei Hagofen.
Blessed are you, our God, creator of the universe, who brings forth the fruit of the vine.
Had God brought us out of Egypt, it would have been enough. Had God given us the Sabbath, it would have been enough. Had God given us the Torah, it would have been enough. Dayenu. Sharon, does anybody want to sing that?
Why don't
I'll sing it.
why don't we all sing?
Okay, let's do it together.
Ilu, Ilu,
Hosea, Hosea,
Hosianu, Mitzrayim, Dayenu, 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 Ilu natan latan lanu natan lanu
Etashaba, Natamanu,
Dayenu,
Ibu natamanu natamanu etatora natamanu etatora dayenu dayenu
Thank you. Sharon Gallis, would you read the three symbols?
The three symbols, according to the Mishnah, Rabbi Gamiel, whoever does not consider the meaning of these three, Pesach, Matzah, Mor, has not fulfilled the purpose of the Seder. The beet, do I point to the beet?
Well, yeah, if you have one, or the horseradish.
Okay.
It's a slice.
In Egypt, the blood of the shank bone marked the doors of Jewish homes to be passed over by the angel of death. Throughout history, Jewish women have also been marked as protectors of Judaism in the home and as pillars of strength for their families.
Thank you. Nancy Urbach, would you please read the Motzi Matzah?
As our people hurried to flee from Egypt, they took with them their half-baked bread, pulled from the ovens before it was ready. The bread was incomplete, unfinished, as is our world. Even now, we live in a universe that is a work in progress, still in need of completion. We live in a world that, like the matzah, is in need of wholeness and repair. As we bless this unfinished bread, we make a commitment to Tikkun Olam, the repair of the world. We set for ourselves the task of helping to bring about the perfection of the universe and all that is in it. And here's the matzah.
We each have matzah. So,
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech
Einu melech
haolam,
haolam,
hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Haaretz.
Blessed are you, our God, creator of the universe, who brings forth bread from the earth. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu ala b'yat matzah. Blessed are you, our God,
creator of the universe, who makes us holy,
with mitzvot and
and
commands us
to eat the
unleavened bread. Sharon Helbin, would you read Maror, please?
Bitter herbs, maror. We eat these bitter herbs to remember the oppression in women's lives. May it remind us of the deep suffering of so many women throughout the world. May the charost and the maror symbolize the bitterness of our enslavement and the sweetness of our freedom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu ha'el shalat maor. Blessed are you, our God, creator of the universe, who makes us holy with mitzvot and commands us to eat bitter herbs.
If you have your horseradish and haroset, you could take a little of the
matzah and make a
matzah
sandwich.
and put it on a little piece, and you can either make a Knesset Hillel image or you can just eat it plain. I didn't realize there was a slice of beet in the haroset.
Yes, there is on top of it.
I saw, I didn't realize it until I just tried to get it out now.
You're not alone.
It seemed like the logical place to put it.
Thank you, whoever made it. It's wonderful.
It's very good, delicious. Would you please read combining the matzah and maror?
That's Joan.
Joan, yeah, Joan Knappen. She was on, I saw her. You
Yeah,
need to unmute yourself, please.
Haroset resembles by color and texture the mortar for the bricks we made in Egypt in our bitter slavery. The cinnamon and spice of the haroset recall the spices Eve was permitted to take with her when she and Adam were exiled from the Garden of Eden.
Oh, okay. Well, we just sort of did it, so.
You want me to keep going, or?
No, Arlene, would you read the orange? Arlene, can you unmute?
She's asked, she wants, I don't know if I can do it. Can you unmute it? Let's see.
Arlene, do you see the microphone in the lower left-hand corner?
Or it could be on the top. That's where mine
By
was.
by your picture, in your picture square on the top right.
Sherry, why don't you unmute her?
I don't think I can. I've been looking.
The microphone could be on the top. That's where mine was.
Your box where your picture is of yourself in the upper right-hand corner. If you put your arrow up there, you'll see it.
Shari, could you unmute?
I can't find a way to do it. Is there a way?
Can you unmute everybody so that Arlene can be unmuted?
I can mute all. I'll do that. See if I can unmute all. Uh, Can you press down the space bar on your computer? That hold the space bar and that'll unmute you.
Ah, you're unmuted, Arlene. Oh, press down again.
You have to hold it while you read.
The orange, what significance has it? It reminds us that women have not always been able to raise their voices freely in prayer. Tell us, our foremothers used to have to ask, why are women not counted in the minyan, not allowed into the rabbinate and cantorate, barred from leadership positions? And the reply used to be, a woman leading worship is no more appropriate than an orange on the Passover plate. We have seen the appropriateness of both. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri ha'etz. Blessed art you, eternal our God, sovereign of the universe, who created the fruit of the tree. I'd eat a piece of orange if I had.
Thank you, Arlene. We're going to omit the eating of the meal, but feel free to eat if you have food on it. We'll just go into the end of the service. The Afikomen reminds us that although some Jews have broken away from our community, they can be found and rejoin us. It also reminds us that when we search deep within our hearts, we can find hidden spiritual selves. You can take a piece of matzah as symbolizing the Afikomen.
What page are you on, Nan?
We are on page 4. We're going to page 14 now.
Okay.
We're going to omit the grace after meals since we don't eat. And Judy Fagan, would you read the third cup of wine?
Unmute.
The third cup of wine is dedicated to those of us who impact our Jewish culture, to our families. We honor those who assure the survival of the ensuring of our future. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri ha'olam. Blessed are you, our God, creator of the universe, who brings forth the fruit of the vine. Amen.
All right, we're going to skip Haggadah. We'll leave that for the communal Seder or your individual Seders. And I'm going to switch and ask Ellen Windermeck to read the fourth cup of wine on page 17.
And you have to unmute.
Okay. The fourth cup, the cup of acceptance. While some call this last cup the cup of acceptance, tonight we shall call it the cup of challenge. We dedicate it to the women of the future who will have to rise to the challenges of the next century. Blessed are you, our God, creator of the universe, who bring forth the fruit of the vine. Drink the fourth cup of wine.
Thank you. Shari, would you like to read the cup of Miriam, please?
That's me?
Yes.
The fifth cup, the cup of Miriam. At traditional Sederim, we have a cup of wine in reserve for the prophet Elijah. At this Seder, we have a cup in reserve for the prophetess or prophet Miriam, and invite her to inspire us with our own faith, strength, wisdom, courage, leadership, and love.
Miriam's song, I'd like to have us all read that together because I think it's really very nice. Okay, Miriam's song. And the women dancing with cymbals followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted, Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wore was one who sang our history. With every strand and every thread, crafted her light. A woman touched by miracles, she dances towards the light. And the women danced with their timbrels, followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass and march to the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we exalted, Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned.
And
And
Miriam
Miriam
raised her voice in song.
She sang with
She sang with praise and might, just as through a miracle, going to dance tonight.
And the women
dancing with their timbrels, followed Miriam as she sang
her song.
Sing
Sing
a
a song,
One song to the one whom we've
Miriam
exalted,
and the
Miriam and the women danced and danced
the whole night long. All right. We have now fulfilled our obligation as Jewish women to recount our story of redemption. May we come together again next Passover as friends and as sisters in a world blessed with freedom and peace for all women and men. Amen.
Amen.
And may next year we all be in the social hall to do this, because I think it's a lot warmer and nicer. But I want to thank everybody for participating and reading and showing up and just being a part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nan, and your committee. Chag Sameach, everybody.
Thank you. All right. Shari, I think you and Judy have some further announcements.
Yeah, Judy, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to thank everybody for participating, helping with the hospitality group, which is Yolanda and Shari and Sharon, and everybody that came to help and work. I mean, it takes a lot of people to put this together, and they've been doing it for years, for 15 years, and it's wonderful to see everybody here. And thank you so much for coming.
And thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
And I just,
Food was great.
Yeah, I can't wait to go heat it up and have lunch, and I have enough to share with Rich, so that's even nice. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay well and I hope to see everybody Friday night, and then at the Temple Seder on Zoom.
Thank
okay,
you.
and
Bye,
I
guys.
just like to finish up with an announcement about our April meeting, which will be our last meeting of the Jewish year. And then we'll reconvene in October, and hopefully we'll reconvene in the social hall. But this was in the last email, and it was in the shofar that Ray has recommended a book called Scattered Among the Nations by Brian Schwartz. and it tells the story of the world's most isolated Jewish communities. There is a coffee table version, or you can purchase it as an ebook for $4.99. But there's a website that has a lot of pictures and stories in it. And what I'd like is 4 or 5 people to volunteer to look on the website or get the book. And if you have any connection particularly to one of these communities or know of another community that's similar, or it could be the Marranos, you know, which I saw an article recently about the hidden Jews that outwardly are Catholic and still observe Judaism. I'd like you to volunteer. It would be brief, 10 minutes, and I can put up the photographs or pictures, or if you happen to have pictures, you know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just hoping we can get participation. And I'm very thrilled that Ray recommended this. It's something I took a class many years ago at the JCC in San Francisco, and the rabbi who taught it, it was life cycles, and he started out with who are Jews, and he showed Chinese Jews and African Jews. You know, there's an East Indian community. So you may have had a relative that lived in China from Russia. You may, I don't know. We can find this out and just call me or email me, and it's no biggie, just a few minutes, but I think it would be wonderful to share. So that's all I have to say.
Can I ask a question?
Marcia.
Yes.
Yes.
Is this in the shofar, or can you send this out to the sisterhood?
It's in the shofar this month, and it'll be in the next month's shofar.
Okay.
And it was in the last email and the email before that, but it's definitely in the shofar. And if you bring it up online, you can just click through to that website.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I looked at the website. It's got some very interesting information.
So, but
Okay.
we thank Ray for that recommendation.
And again, I want to thank all the readers for participating. It was nice to have so many of you volunteer.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, have a great week.
Enjoy your matzah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, but it's only one day today, and then we have 2 weeks where we can eat bread before.
Yeah.
I think the Simcha cake will be gone by Passover.
Right, definitely.
I don't know, but it'll make it till tomorrow.
Well, bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Lunch was wonderful.
Bye.